The book of Syrach, chapter 14. Blessed is the man that stood not by the word of his mouth, and was not pricked in the sorrow of trespass. Verse 2. He is blessed that hath not sorrow of his soul, and falleth not down from his hope. Verse 3. Cattle is without reason to a covetous man, and hard niggard, and whereto is gold to an envious man. Verse 4. He that gathereth of his will unjustly gathereth to other men, and another man shall make waste in his goods. Verse 5. To what other man shall he be good, which is wicked to himself? And he shall not be merry in his goods. Verse 6. No thing is worse than he that hath envy to himself, and this is the yielding of his malice. Verse 7. And if he doeth good, he doeth unwittingly, and not willfully, and at the last he showeth his malice. Verse 8. The eye of an envious man is wicked, and turning away the face, and despising his soul. Verse 9. The eye of a covetous man is never filled. He shall not be filled into the part of wickedness, till he perform unrightfulness, and make dry his soul. Verse 10. An evil eye to evils, and the needy man shall not be filled of bread, and he shall be in sorrow on his table. Verse 11. Son, if thou hast, do well with thyself, and offer thou worthy offerings to God. Verse 12. Be thou mindful that death shall not tarry, and the testament of hells, which is showed to thee. For why? The testament of this world shall die by death. Verse 13. Before death do thou good to thy friend, and by thy midst stretch thou forth, and give to a poor man. Verse 14. Be thou not deceived of a good day, and the little part of a good day pass not thee. Verse 15. Whether thou shalt not leave to other men thy sorrows and travels. Verse 16. In the departing of lot give thou, and take, and justify thy soul. Verse 17. Before thy death work thou rightfulness, for at hells it is not to find meat. Verse 18. Each man shall wax old as hay, and as a leaf bringing fruit in a green tree. Verse 19. Other been gendered, and other been cast down. So the generation of flesh and blood, another is ended, and another is born. Verse 20. Each corruptible work shall fail in the end, and he that worketh it shall go with it. Verse 21. And all chosen work shall be justified, and he that worketh it shall be honored in it. Verse 22. Blessed is the man that shall dwell in wisdom, and that shall bethink in rightfulness, and shall think in wit the beholding of God. Verse 23. Which thinketh out, either findeth out, the ways of him in his heart, and shall be understanding in the hid things of him, going as a searcher after it, and standing in the ways of it. Verse 24. Which beholdeth by the windows thereof, and heareth in the gates thereof. Verse 25. Which resteth nigh the house thereof, and setteth a stake in the walls thereof. He shall set his little house at the hands of him, and good shall rest in his little house, by durrying of the world. Verse 26. He shall set his sons under the hillying thereof, and he shall dwell under the boughs thereof. Verse 27. He shall be covered under the hillying thereof from heat, and he shall rest in the glory thereof.
So ends chapter 14